Yeah, I'm always making teeth. I went to go pick up a Fuji X100V. This camera is sold out everywhere and is back order for years. And if you do own one and want to sell one, you can probably get like $500 or $600 more than a brand new one. So I went to go pick one up, and yes, I did pay more than what a brand new one would cost, but that's the price it costs now. The market for it is a lot higher than what it used to be. Feeling this camera, okay, this is a Fujifilm X100V. This is a lens that is stuck on there. It's not changeable. This is a 23mm f2 and it's stuck. You cannot change this lens out at all. That being said, like, why would somebody want to have this camera? You can't change the lens. It's a body that's just like this, you know, pretty much you have to be able to use a 35mm, and 35mm is a good focal length for what I'm really interested in, which is street photography. This is a small camera where when you're bringing it around and using it for street photography, you don't feel like you're grabbing this big camera going around and people will be staring at you wondering what you're shooting. Don't let the size fool you, because this camera has a lot of features. There's a lot of things about this camera that I'm just super impressed about. The more I use it, the more I'm like, wow, this camera packs a lot of things. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Let's just start with the way it looks. It looks beautiful, right? I mean, look at it. It looks super simple. It looks like an old kind of like film camera. And then you have dials on the top, a few buttons in the back, but everything is very minimal. They really care about the screen size because it's a really big screen size for a camera this small. The viewfinder is really big as well, so when you're looking through it, it's actually really nice to look through it. And I find myself using the viewfinder a lot more than using the screen. Just because the feel of using this viewfinder, it's just really nice. It's perfect. And plus, the coolest thing about the viewfinder is that it has an OVF and an EVF. And you think, why would I use the OVF? Well, there's a lot of reason you want to use the OVF. It's literally staring at what exactly your eyes is looking at. This is exactly how the picture looks like. And there's a little cool feature on it too, that you can see a little tiny EVF in the OVF. Nobody told me this. Like, I didn't know that. I thought it was either OVF or EVF, but it can be OVF and EVF in the same kind of like screen. I can look through here and see OVF, and then in a tiny little bottom, I can see the EVF. It's kind of hard to show you because it's in here, but just think about it. OVF, you see it, and then you see a tiny monitor screen on the bottom right. You can use that for anything. Focusing, you can use that to check your exposure if you want. You can use that for anything, and all you have to do is just switch this little knob right here. That's it, left or right. And this thing, if you want to just use the EVF, you can. Same thing, just switch left or right on this knob, however you set it. And then you'll be able to EVF. But I find that super cool in this camera. Make it like super old school, classic, just shooting with an OVF. The other cool thing is the dials. Fujifilm is really great for having cool looking cameras and cool looking dials on top. This right here is the shutter speed. You can turn it and it will change the shutter speed. I leave it on auto right now. And then if you lift it, you can turn this and it'll adjust the ISO. And then once you're set with ISO, just push it down and you're set. It makes it super nice and simple right here. And then there's a little screen right here that'll show you what ISO you're in. All you want to do is click it in and you're set. And this will set the shutter speed right there. Super nice. And then of course you have your exposure comp wheel right here. Pretty much every camera has this comp wheel, and it's only like useful if you use any of the automatic mode, aperture priority, shutter priority, or even P mode. That really helps. The shutter button is pretty cool, but you can add in like these shutter button little, I don't know, accessory to it. I added a black one because I kind of like the stealth look of this camera. I was going to go for silver, but you know what? This black, all black right here, just reminds me of my Leica camera, but like 1/6 the price. And it just looks super nice. I kind of really like this all black with a hint of red in the dial, a hint of red in the A, and then a hint of red with my peak design. Although, I just might take one side off. You know what? The reason why I want to take this one side off is because I've been using this thing more as a wrist strap than a shoulder strap. And yeah, I can leave this on and use it as a shoulder strap, but to be honest with you, I've been digging it as a wrist strap. And there you go. Now it won't get in my way, and this is all I really need. Using a wrist strap on camera like this helps because it will always keep the camera on my hand and not around my neck where I can just let it swing and not think about it. But when it's on my hand, I'm always holding the camera, so if I ever really need to use it, I'm up ready to shoot it. That's really cool on that part. So that's why I only have a wrist strap. All right, back to the camera. Right here, it's a tiny little flash if you want to use it for like street photography. I haven't used it yet, but I think I will one day, soon, I guess. Pretty cool, super cool flash. And of course, the aperture ring is right here, right on the lens. There's cool knobs right here where you just use it to turn. I leave it at whatever I need to shoot it at, but for now it's at f2. I usually want to do like f4 to f5.6, which is really nice. All right, the back buttons. These back buttons right here, oh wait, I missed one button. This tiny little button up here, this little piece right here, you can customize that to anything you like. I have it for like photometry. And then that's pretty much the customization up on top. The back button, it's pretty much all set. So here you have your joystick, and then these buttons are already all labeled. Even the buttons here are all labeled. You can change like this button right here. But you know what? This is the only button I actually changed. Other than that, all this button stays the same. Another cool thing, you probably won't notice here, is that there's a wheel right here, okay? Every camera pretty much have this. Most cameras have this, okay? And this is different for one reason. You can actually press it. So that could be a function button right there. And then even in the front, you can press it. Even this dial I was telling you guys about, this one right here, you can also press this. So these are actually buttons you can press. So this is set to like zoom. So like you can zoom in to check your focus right here. And then this button, I haven't really set it how I want it just yet, but I'm gonna set that as I use the camera and see what I need the most. So holding this camera, I thought it was gonna be like not a good grip. But to be honest with you, the way the camera is and the way this is kind of shaped out just a little bit right here, holding this camera is really nice. You know, holding this camera is super nice. I thought I would need like the thumb grip, but slowly as I'm using this, I'm not needing this thumb grip as much as I thought I would. I mean, I don't even have this thumb grip, but it feels nice in the hand already. And it kind of makes your left hand fits perfectly right here. So either I'm holding it like this or I'm holding it like this, but either way, I'm like really gripping the camera. So it's nice. It's really nice just to have the camera like this. So you're shooting and it's stable and you're pretty much holding the camera like this. It's small, it's light, and it's great. On the side, real quick for you guys, before I forget, there is a manual, continuous, and single shot. So all you do is just change it by switching the knob up and down. It's pretty nice. Quick setting right there. And then, yeah, this camera is weather sealed, which is really nice, but you have to have the lens filter on it. The screen does tilt up like this, so if you want to shoot something super low, you can, and it does tilt this way, just like that. It doesn't go out any more than that, so you're pretty much shooting it, you know, like this. And then it goes in. Pretty nice. The battery is the same as the Fujifilm battery that I see in a lot of Fujifilm camera. And then the SD card is actually on the bottom as well. That's it about this camera. Whatever the buttons you see here, you might think, hey man, like that doesn't feel like a very customizable camera. But there's a lot that goes inside this camera. If you haven't used Fujifilm camera before, or if you have used Fujifilm camera, then you already know this. There's like 7 customized screens, and a customized screen is actually really easy to change to. You might think, where's the dial? Just like Sony or Canon C1, C2, C3. But this one has a Q button just right there. So you press this Q button and it pops up this menu. See this menu? Okay, up here, you can see the custom button. And that is right now on C2, but it can go up to C7. All the way here. So it changes a lot. I set C2 to black and white acros, and I set C1 to classic chrome. So then that means anytime I want to switch it, I just switch it to the custom 2, and all my settings in here is already set. And if you don't know about Fuji cameras, JPEGs is amazing and RAW is amazing already, but JPEGs in Fujifilm camera is crazy sick. They have film stimulation here, and you can adjust the sharpness, you can adjust the contrast, the highlight tone, the shadow tone to make that film your style, like how you like it. And then you set that to custom 1, custom 2, or custom 3. So anytime you want to switch, it's set to you, however you want your film to come out to be. Dope. Right now, I honestly haven't messed around with that too much because I haven't owned this camera for that long. I've really been a Sony shooter, and I've had Fuji camera in the past, but just not long enough to really mess around with those things. And yes, I do switch cameras a lot. And if you're curious about that, yeah, I do. I really love cameras. I love using them. I love playing around with them. And there's a bunch of good cameras out there, but that doesn't mean that the last camera I used was bad. It also means it could be great. This camera is an amazing camera. My X100V is an amazing camera, but doesn't mean that I switch, meaning the last camera is bad. You know what I mean? As you know, this channel, I may use switch and review some new cameras, and then you guys might, just benefit from it for seeing what that camera is like. I almost forgot to bring my tea and my camera. The reason why I want to come over here sometimes is like, look, isn't she cute? Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. I always sit here with one dog. Whoa, I'm on the ground. You guys can tell. I'm always here with one dog, and you guys might think I might not even have another one, but I do. I got Loki. The one you just saw is Athena. She's always laying here, super cute looking. Loki's always, just on her own, super independent. Dang, dog is so independent. My goal with this is to have it out for street photography, because I had street photography last time. A camera that I used was the Sony A1. Sony A1 for street photography is amazing. Don't get me wrong, it is, but it's big. And I had a 50mm. Carrying it around all day or for 2 hours shooting, it does get tiring. And even when I'm traveling, it does get tiring because I have that camera plus some lenses in my backpack. And it makes it kind of like, I don't know, sometimes if I'm going shopping or if I'm doing something when I'm traveling, I don't want to have a big camera around my wrist or around my shoulder. I would love to have just something like this, an amazing camera for street photography. And I don't have to think about this camera weighing me down at all. It's super light and it's compact. It won't fit in my pocket, but it'll fit in my camera bag, a small shoulder camera bag. This small shoulder camera bag, this literally just goes inside and it fits perfectly and it closes. So I can just have this bag around and then it protects the camera and I can even use it for other things. That's super cool to have. And this is a dope camera to just kind of hold around. Is it worth the price of it is right now? I think right now the used market is like $1,700 for this camera. Is it worth it? Only time will tell. This right here is the Fujifilm X100V. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, and follow this channel to see more about this camera. I'm gonna be comparing it to my X100V because that's very similar to this, and really talk to you guys about which one is better for you. The X100V is like $800, $1,700. And we're gonna really talk about that because I have a lot of things to say. All right, you guys, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.